Hello, welcome back to Heather Rants. We don't really rant, but when people don't like what you have to say, they think it makes you sound like you're the unhinged one when they call it ranting. So today's topic is the Jehovah's Witnesses once again being in court for their practice of shunning and how it relates to child development, attachment styles, and the rights of the child. Like, just violation of all of the above. Like, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. The red herring of the situation is the fact that they try to bring it back to religious persecution. When in reality, they took it back to the Holocaust. The Holocaust was problematic because, they did something to piss off Hitler. We'll just say it one time and be done. They did something to piss him off, and they got included into, all the concentration camps and stuff. Not cool, Batman. That was genuinely bad. That was genuinely persecution. Because dude man took it too far. But the problem with comparing it to the Holocaust is that when you know better, you do better. When you know better, you do better. The laws have evolved, they've changed, new laws have been added, new science has been found. It used to be everybody believed that cigarettes would be a gateway drug, or, pot was a gateway drug. Now everybody knows that trauma is a legitimate gateway drug. Everybody knows, and there's science to back up, and because there's actual measurable aspects of this, that secure attachment styles and how they affect your life, your experiences as a child, make a difference. There's a physiological aspect, there is neuroscience, there is psychology. Your nervous system is developed to handle things in a certain way. And when you do things wrong, it develops wrong. When you experience trauma, it has a big response. There's measurable aspects to this. Now, having this understanding and knowing that trauma is the real gateway drug, there's a cost associated with not supporting, a positive relationship skill set. That creating trauma in children's lives, creating trauma in anyone's lives, puts a cost on society. Religions are a protected aspect in government because they benefit society. If you have a religion that's creating more problems than it's fixing, or as many problems as they're fixing, they've defeated the purpose. Essentially, you're defeating the purpose. That is not why we have protections for religions. You can still do all your stuff, but we're no longer going to pay you to benefit society. They don't even say what they put their money into for, I don't know, catastrophe relief, whatever they want to call it. This has everything to do with evolving with the science and actual data-based concepts and laws to protect children. This is not the Holocaust. They try to obfuscate everything and take it back to the Holocaust. This is not Holocaust. This is an evolved understanding. More science, more technology, more actual fact-based studies. And what the Jehovah's Witnesses have done by virtue of creating an isolated community, you know, we're a part of the world, you're never going to get out of the world, but you're not a friend to the world. Being a friend to the world means you're an enemy of God. You've created an isolated community. By creating an isolated community, you've created a commodity that you can give or take, withhold, all these things as a punishment and reward by virtue of being the authority over somebody's life. That is a religion. Having the power to take away somebody's family, not even just the community, having the power to take away somebody's family as a form of punishment is too much. When the Jehovah's Witnesses in Norway, in their court case, failed to have their publications deemed as sacred and not up for governmental translation, they tried to say that the way that they are translating it is not that bad. It's just a few activists that had a bad experience. But here's the thing. Like, even as an ex-Jehovah's Witness, you're scared to look at the real information. You're scared to be a part of the community. You're scared to be anything. If you're an active Jehovah's Witness, all you're hearing are these activists that they give you the assignment of, you're going to go talk to this judge in Norway as the tradesman and give your testimony or whatever, or compare not giving somebody money for defeating the purpose that a religion serves in a community. Like, I'm not going to pay you to benefit society if you're causing trauma, because that's a burden on society. Like, they sent this guy in here and he compared it to the Holocaust. Like, holy cow. They tried saying that it wasn't that bad. But what I found out was that when I joined this community and actually opened myself up to communicating with this community, where I thought I was the problem, I was a special exception, I was a bad person, I was at fault, you know, well, my experience wasn't unusual. What happened to me was no holds barred wrong. What happened to me was trauma. What happened to me traumatized my little cousins who were like, I don't know, 10 years old, maybe. Like, just one day, these kids just know that one of their best friends for life that they looked up to, they can no longer talk to. They are Satan themselves until they get themselves fixed and sit in the back of the Kingdom Hall for 6 months. And then all of a sudden it's going to be, woohoo! They are everything again. How is that not confusing? How does that not mess up an attachment style for children? How does it not mess up when, like, children get disfellowshipped and they're told they have to sit in a separate room and be... What they do to kids is wrong. What they do and expect out of, like, children going through developmentally normal processes and developmentally require the support of their society and their parents and the people around them and friendships and all the things that they're only going to get from the world if they've been ostracized. But yet when they start getting the support from somewhere else and start showing evidence of that because they need it desperately, or they're going to be messed up. If they start doing that and getting that information separately, you've created an eternal loop where their actual community and society is just constantly at odds. You've created a disrupted, troubled person. a whole troubled person. By turning your community into a commodity, they have too much power. And if we're all wrong and we're exaggerating, or we're only a few cases, but there's cases like this going on around the world, and whole communities of people that are talking and speaking on behalf of the people that are afraid to open their mouths and be another voice in the choir, by not correcting the people that are driving members to suicide, that are causing emotional developmental damage to children and adults, and just ruining lives. If they know that catastrophic levels of damage are being done to people's lives and they are not correcting the inappropriate behavior, then they are complicit. They can say, we can't control what these people do on their Bible-based conscience. Do you know how many people are Christians and have not found it in their own hearts and their own translations of their Bible that, they studied, publication after publication after publication in their own denomination. They studied their own Bible. Nobody has come up with the level of shunning that these people have. Where do you think they got it from? Your publications. Your publications are so sacred because there's no way anybody else would come up with that same translation. There's no way anybody else would come up with that same conclusion. So if that's the only way that they come up with that conclusion, that level of damage that they're doing to people, like, I told my grandfather, I sent him a text message. I got his number from somebody. I sent him a text message. I was suicidal in my judicial committee because I thought I deserved to die. I don't even know why, but I thought I deserved to die. And that wasn't repentant enough. He still doesn't care. Does not give a flying crap one iota. Has not responded back. I'm sorry you had that experience. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Can you just get yourself right with the organization? Or I'm glad you're okay. None of it. Not a damn thing. Now, if that is inappropriate, and it's happening on the level that it is around the world, and it's going to court around the world constantly, why would you not put out a corrective article? Unless that's what you want. Just a question. If you're okay with the damage that you're doing, the damage that your people are doing, based on their Bible-based conscience, despite you being one of, a handful of religions around the world that do this. Because even Catholics don't do it on this level. Most of the time. It depends on how stringent they are and whatever level of Catholicism that they are. There's not many places around the world that do this. Not many religions. There's not... I can't say I can really name more than one or two other religions that just don't even care if you're willing to die out of agony and they still won't contact you back. And that's acceptable. I can't. But if it's only your people that are doing that, where did they get the idea from? Because how many other Catholic, Christian, Methodist, Pentecostal, how many of them do it on this level? They don't. I know a Catholic family, The whole family. They got 10 freaking kids. They are looked down on by their family, but they still have a relationship with their family. By not putting out a corrected misconception of how the disfellowshipping thing is supposed to work, they are, in the very least, saying that they're okay with it. They condone it. But they have asked for it. That is what they are asking for in their publications. And if it's not, and people have misconstrued the facts, then they need to correct it. And by not doing so, they are complicit. They are condoning it. It is tacit approval. I think that's what it's called. They know what's going on, and they are not correcting it. They're going to court all over the world over this problem, and they are not correcting it. Why? Because that's what they want. Now, I gotta go to work. Y'all, don't forget, if you ask enough questions, you can be an apostate too, and have a good one.